We know this plane was inspected Sunday. We don't know exactly what happened then. That probably was what you call a light check, where just these routine checks. I think they said maybe 10,000 cycles ago, flights ago, was the last time this one went in for a major overhaul. But yeah, no, I don't know what exactly they're planning. But obviously, with the information they have about specifically what happened here, they're going to be looking at that. And as Phil said, no doubt other airlines with all the thousands of these in service in the U.S. and around the world are going to be doing the same thing. But what specifically they're going to be doing, I don't know.
So when I remember years ago, there was some type of engine event, and all of the plane had a lot of the controls, the struts and everything. They were actually wires, and so shrapnel. I mean, there's more than one. There's two engines, and it can run on one engine, right? So unless it damages another part of the plane or goes through a window, you can. That's not the
exactly.
You won't bring a plane down if an engine.
Yeah, I think you're talking. Yeah, there was that United Airlines DC-10 that ended up landing with great difficulty in Sioux City, Iowa, kind of crash landing. Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, exactly. And then there have been other incidents. In that case, some people unfortunately died. Other incidents over the years where you're right, you can lose an engine and have a rather routine landing. Other times where the fuselage has been pierced, but nobody's been killed. Southwest had an incident just a couple of years ago where the image was rather dramatic of what happened to the engine. It looked a lot like this, but in that case, everybody was okay. So yeah, usually it's the confluence of several things going wrong. I have a feeling that we're going to hear here, without knowing exactly what happened, that something went wrong and then other redundancies failed too. It's usually not enough for just one thing going wrong to cause something like what we saw yesterday.
Phil, the record is like mind-boggling. The number of people, number of passenger miles, and even. Phil, do you remember the Colgan era? What didn't the guy that they were? I think he what did he do? He accelerated in a dive, or he did the opposite of what you're supposed to do when you stall, right? And there was a storm, I think.
They tried to pull.
Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Phil.
Well, I was just going to say, and if you remember, ultimately when they looked into that at that accident. They said, look, the experience of the pilot was not as much as we believe they probably had. There are some questions about whether there was pilot fatigue involved. So that's the last time that we had a U.S. airline-related fatality here in the United States, a U.S. airline fatality back in February of 2009. This has been a stunning 9-year period of safety in the skies over the U.S., and we've discussed this in the past, and I would bring this up with people, and they would say, well, man, the industry is just having a lucky stretch. It's not luck. I mean, there are a lot of inspections and safety protocol that the airlines, along with the FAA, go through to make sure that the planes do not have an incident like this. So that's why you're going to see them swarm this as quickly as they are, because they can pinpoint fairly quickly if there are other engines that may have metal fatigue in some of the fan blades.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.